Hello and welcome to another innovative industrial properties analysis. I have talked about this particular company, or should I say real estate investment trust, before on our YouTube channel once, in which I highlighted the fundamentals of this company and talked about the Elliot Wave count quite extensively, and talked about their earnings and revenue estimations of the next few years. And not much has changed since the last video, but I would like to take another opportunity to inform everybody about this real estate investment trust, because it's one of my absolute favorite rates out there, because of its high annual growth, and of course of the very lucrative dividend they are paying out right now. And of course the stock is down massively, and I see a big opportunity right here. But I would like to dive into the chart a little bit before I am going to talk about the other things. Like I have said in the past video, this is a rather newer company, and they are listed only for a few years right now, and have seen quite an extensive bull run, which topped out in November 2022. And just to summarize this, we established a very impulsive wave 1 right here with an ABC correction. This was quite an impressive bull run back then, and we topped out in this orange wave 1 and formed a very simple wave 2 correction in a 5-wave movement, 3-wave, and this last wave C. This was the COVID crash, if you couldn't remember it. I very well remember it, because it was quite an impressive time back then, if I'm being honest. And what followed? A massive stock boom followed and pushed this stock to new highs, and we established this wave 3 and a very short wave 4 and a last bullish impulse, which nearly brought the stock to $300. And just like I said, in November 2022, we established a cycle wave 1 top. And the past year hasn't been very good to this company, because a lot of investors have great fears about the commercial real estate sector, because of many reasons, just as the Federal Reserve interest hikes and how mortgage rates are rising rapidly. And of course, this company is mainly focused on providing real estate to cannabis companies, and I don't have to say to you guys that this is a very risky and volatile sector, but IIPR is a very outstanding company in this case. And to make this short, we established a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, 1, 2, and we saw a massive crash in a wave 3, and then this short wave 4, and right now I have highlighted this in the last video. We established a bearish wave 1, 2 in the last year, and seen significantly lower prices, and reached our extension zone here. These were the price targets of our wave 3, and I estimate that this wave 3 is over, and we should see a sort of a triangle in the next weeks, which should develop something like this, and then we should see a very small wave 5, which should finally push us into this blue retracement zone. And of course, these will be very lucrative entry points for accumulating positions in this company. And I set the buy zone from $70 to $30. I am not invested at this point, because I'm waiting for lower prices, but investors who don't want the additional stress and hustle can just set their buy orders in this trading zone. But just like I pointed it out, I expect that we should see a final correction to $60, And just to make sure I have shown you this long-term count, this is the wave 1, and this is this correction we have seen right now. We lack a wave B and a wave C in this movement, and we only established this 5-wave bearish impulse, and because of this, I expect that we should see a very impulsive wave 3 in the next 1 to 2 years, which should form a B wave. This may be frustrating, but as you guys can see, there's up to a chance for 300% gains in this wave B alone. So it's going to be very lucrative to sit this wave B out. And after that, of course, we should see a wave C, which should bring us to the final wave C correction. But of course, there is a possibility. It's not very beautiful, I know, what I just highlighted, but there is a possibility that this already is the bottom wave of wave 2, so I highlighted it as alternative wave 2. And I just want to talk very, very shortly about the fundamentals, because I have talked about this in the last video very, very long, and I'm not talking about this all over again. If you want to hear me talk about the fundamentals of this company, just go to the last video right here. It was published 1 month ago, and I really recommend checking it out. And regarding the fundamentals, I read quite some amusing articles on different financial platforms of how innovative industrial properties is going to see quite considerable lower revenue this year, and how they are going to have troubles staying liquid. And the funny thing is, they posted their Q1 results a few weeks ago, and it was the exact opposite of what many analysts were talking about. They managed to grow their revenue to 76 million in Q1. The net gain was not very higher than in the last quarters, but it is still quite funny that they managed to grow their revenue, and so many analysts said the opposite, and how they would have problems with higher interest rates, and so on and so on. And I am still very, very bullish in this company, and I am absolutely sure that they will manage to grow their revenue in the upcoming quarters this year, and they have a lot of potential in the next years. And depending on when the cannabis market will be legalized in the US nationwide, this will also boost the company immensely. And I just want to talk about the dividend very shortly. Because it's a real estate investment trust, they have to pay out 80 to 90% of their taxable income to investors as a dividend. So this is not a regular company like other companies out there in the US. They have to pay a fixed amount of dividends each quarter, depending on how big their revenue was. So I don't think that the dividend will be lowered anytime soon, and even if it should be lowered, if it would only be a very, very small cut. And as you guys see, they managed to continuously increase their dividend. That's really impressive. And right now they are paying out a little over than 10%. So that's an absolutely fantastic yield for everyone out there who wants a risky growth stock, but also as a dividend income. This is going to be a real gem, and I'm really looking forward to loading up positions in this company. I'm really optimistic. And of course, the dividend of 10% is just a nice additional treat for an investor. So if you have questions regarding this stock, please write me an email or write a comment in this YouTube video, and I will answer them, of course. See you guys in another video. Have a good one, and goodbye from Zurich, Switzerland.